According to Wan Yu, Xi Jinping will not attend next month's BRICS Summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Instead, Premier Li Qiang will attend on his behalf. This will be the first time Xi Jinping has missed a BRICS summit. The BRICS group has always been an important platform that Beijing uses to counter the Western order. In the past, Xi Jinping has always attended in person, so why is he suddenly skipping it this time? This detail is quite interesting. What do you think? Is it because of health issues that he can't attend, or is there another reason? Another thing is that Xi Jinping's top bodyguard, Wang Xiao Hong, recently got into trouble. He disappeared for a full 28 days. He just showed up again recently. Why do I say it's only a suspected appearance? On April 15th, the president of Vietnam visited Beijing. In the Xinhua news agency's report on the meeting, there was just one line in the text saying that Kai Chi, Wang Li, Yin Li, Wang Xiao Hong, and others attended related activities. That's it, just that one line. There were no close-up photos and no separate reports about it. In the footage, there was only a distant side shot, making it almost impossible to recognize anyone. And his close associates were suddenly replaced as well. On the very same day that Wang Xiao Hong appeared, Vietnamese media cameras also captured Xi Jinping walking toward the Great Hall of the People. Pang Liyuan quietly supported her right arm from underneath, secretly holding her up. So on one hand, people noticed that after disappearing for 28 days, the bodyguard finally showed up again. On the other hand, she still needed her wife's help just to walk. On top of that, she didn't even attend the BRICS Summit. So people are wondering, with Xi Jinping losing both his security detail and his health at the same time, how much longer can he hold on? Hello everyone, this is Wei Yu. Watching the world, I'm Chen Wei Yu. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Xi Jinping's chief bodyguard, Wang Xiao Hong. Wang Xiao Hong isn't just an ordinary minister. She's Xi Jinping's number one in his trinity, his chief personal bodyguard. Back in 1993, when Xi Jinping was the party secretary in Fuzhou, he personally promoted the then 36-year-old Wang Xiao Hong to be the deputy director of the Fuzhou Public Security Bureau. The two worked together for over a decade. Pang Liyuan has worked in Beijing for a long time, and during her performances, the person responsible for the security of Xi Jinping's family was none other than Wang Xiao Hong. Xi Jinping entrusted both his own and his family's personal safety to him. This level of trust goes far beyond ordinary political relationships. Later, when Xi Jinping came to power, Wang Xiao Hong was appointed Minister of Public Security and also served as state counselor. Both the Special Service Bureau of the Ministry of Public Security and the Central Security Bureau fell under his authority. Secondly, he is Xi Jinping's enforcer, handling all the shady business that can't see the light of day. When Zhang Yusha and Liu Zhengli were arrested, it was the Special Service Bureau of the Ministry of Public Security under Wang Xiao Hong that carried it out. Li Qiang's death is also connected to him. Former lecturer at the Chinese People's Public Security University, Gao Guangjun, pointed out that Li Qiang died at the Dengzhou State Guest House in Shanghai, a location directly overseen by the Central Security Bureau, which is under Wang Xiao Hong's control. Li Qiang's family said they hadn't been able to contact him since the end of August. This indicates that he had already been placed under the control of the Central Security Bureau before his death. Gao Guangjun also revealed that around 2018, Xi Jinping established the Central Military Commission Operations Bureau, which is specifically responsible for assassinations and kidnappings, and is directly overseen by either Wang Xiao Hong or Chen Wenqing. In January of this year, both Zhang Yusha and Liu Zhengli were taken down at the same time, and multiple sources all point in the same direction. The operation to arrest them was carried out by the Special Service Bureau of the Ministry of Public Security, which is under Wang Xiao Hong's control. Arresting a sitting vice chairman of the Central Military Commission? An operation like this requires someone Xi Jinping trusts the most to carry it out, and Wang Xiao Hong, he's that person. So what Wang Xiao Hong controls isn't just the regular public security system, but the very core of the CCP's entire apparatus of violence. Third, he is also Xi Jinping's most dangerous secret insurance policy. Precisely because he's done all these things for Xi Jinping, Wang knows more than anyone else who gave the orders, who carried them out, and what went wrong in between. If any of this ever gets exposed, Xi Jinping is finished. In short, for the past 30 years, he's been both Xi Jinping's sword and his shield. But when you do too many bad things, sooner or later, you'll run into trouble. So, what happened to Wang Xiao Hong next? From March 15th to 17th, Wang Xiao Hong, along with Wang Yi and Dong Jun, went to Hanoi, Vietnam to attend the first ministerial meeting of the China-Vietnam Foreign Affairs, Defense, and Public Security 3+3 Strategic Dialogue Mechanism. On March 18th, the three of them returned to Beijing from Vietnam. Wang Yi left first, and everything seemed normal. Then, according to reports from independent media, Liu Jingguo, the deputy secretary of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, got out of the official car that came to pick them up at the airport and said to Wang Xiao Hong and Deng Jun, "Come with us." The two of them were then taken to the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection and interrogated separately. After several hours, the door opened and Liu Jingguo's secretary came out and told Deng Jun, "You can go now." Current affairs commentator Kai Shankui later said that after Deng Jun returned, he went straight to bed and didn't dare show his face for several days, just quietly trying to find out what was going on. A sitting minister of defense was scared to this extent. As for Wang Xiaohong, she didn't leave. She was detained, and this detention lasted for 28 days. Liu Zi's condition, according to the leaks, was this. If Xi Jinping wanted to save Wang Xiaohong, he could go to Yuanlao and use Zheng Youxia, who was under house arrest, as an exchange. If he doesn't save her, then he can't blame Wang Xiaohong for spilling everything during interrogation, including how Li Keqiang died. So what choice will Xi Jinping make? As for Wang Xiaohong, it's basically admitting that she gave the order to arrest Zhang Youxia, which is like putting herself on the hot seat. If she doesn't save her, it's like letting someone who knows all her secrets sit across from her in the interrogation room and start talking. Neither path is easy. There's a detail here worth noting. The trip to Vietnam was suggested by Wang Yi, and after Wang Yi returned, everything was normal. And the timing of Liu Jingguo showing up at the airport was just too perfect. Wang Yi made the suggestion, then left first, and right after that, Liu Jingguo stepped in. The timing was so precise. Was that really just a coincidence? What do you all think? Who do you think set up this whole situation? Let me know in the comments. If Wang Yi really did set this up, then what was his motive? Wang Yi is an old fox, deeply rooted in the CCP's diplomatic system. From foreign minister to state councilor to Politburo member, even after Xi Jinping's repeated purges, he's still standing strong. That just shows how cunning and shrewd he is. He's the kind of figure like Zhao Enlai. Wang Xiaohong's presence is a threat to Wang Yi because the Special Service Bureau that Wang Xiaohong controls is also a tool for monitoring party and government officials. In other words, Wang Xiaohong isn't just Xi Jinping's knife, he's a knife hanging over everyone's head, including Wang Yi. If Wang Yi has the backing of other factions behind the scenes, and he's got some kind of leverage or a window of opportunity over Wang Xiaohong, then using the Vietnam trip as cover to set up this trap would allow the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection to strike at the most precise moment. Showing up at the airport is technically doable. Of course, all of this is just speculation for now, but in the logic of CCP politics, nothing is impossible. This is one of the theories circulating among the public about Wang Xiaohong's 28-day disappearance. There's another theory as well. During Wang Xiaohong's 28-day disappearance, current affairs commentator Kai Shankui said that after asking around, everyone said Wang Xiaohong was having health problems. Independent media personality Zheng Wangzheng revealed that Wang Xiaohong had throat cancer. Hunan Provincial Party Secretary Shen Xiaoming will replace him. On April 15th, Wang Xiaohong finally made a public appearance, but people noticed a detail. On the very same day she showed up, the official website of the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection announced that the 12th Central Inspection Team had officially entered the Ministry of Public Security. From mid-April to the end of June, that's about 2.5 months. On April 21st, the State Council made an appointment. L.V. Wu Qian was previously an assistant minister at the Ministry of Public Security. L.V. Wu Qian had no connection with Wang Xiaohong. He wasn't a former subordinate, nor was he a trusted confidant. As everyone knows, for senior officials in the Chinese Communist Party, the chief of staff has to be someone they trust completely. But now, the chief of staff assigned to Wang Xiaohong is someone who has absolutely nothing to do with her. Essentially, this is a form of surveillance and sidelining. And starting from last year, Wang Xiaohong's trusted aides have been removed one after another. Xu Ganlu and Chen Xiwan were dismissed from their positions, Hu Bingchen was transferred, and the newly appointed vice ministers have taken office. Neither Yang Weilin nor Lin Zhifeng has any connection with Wang Xiao Hong. There's another detail. At the end of April, Wang Yi and Dong Jun went to Cambodia together to attend the China-Cambodia Foreign and Defense Ministers 2+2 strategic dialogue. Back in mid-March, the 3+3 delegation included Wang Yi, Dong Jun, and Wang Xiao Hong, 3 people. But this time, only Wang Yi and Dong Jun went. Wang Xiao Hong was no longer on the list. In November last year, Wang Xiao Hong's top aide, Dong Yijun, suddenly died of a heart attack on the second day of the 4th plenary session. The authorities kept it secret and didn't announce it for a full 25 days. First, his top aide died, then he himself disappeared for 28 days. After reappearing, he was put under surveillance and sidelined, and his trusted associates were excluded from diplomatic activities. So think about it, how much longer can this person really hold on? The relationship between Wang Xiao Hong and Xi Jinping is actually very similar to the relationship Bo Xilai had with Wang Lijun back in the day. Wang Lijun also knew too many of Bo Xilai's secrets. In 2012, after sensing danger, Wang Lijun fled to the U.S. consulate, and Bo Xilai eventually fell from power. The person who does the dirty work for the top leadership. The more you know, the more dangerous it gets. Either you get silenced or you end up turning against them yourself. Will Xi Jinping trade Zhang Youshaya for Wang Xiaohong? In my opinion, no. Judging by what Xi Jinping has done so far, he will. Abandon anyone at a critical moment, including those who once helped him seize power and take down his rivals. They all burn bridges after crossing them. So to Xi Jinping, what does Wang Xiaohong even matter? Recently, a well-connected person, Kai Shangqi, posted on X saying that according to a single source, Ma Xingri completely broke down mentally under intense interrogation. He was on the verge of losing control and ended up implicating several current and former top-level Politburo Standing Committee members. Ma Xingru is Peng Liyuan's cousin and one of Xi Jinping's closest confidants, but in the end, Xi Jinping still chose not to protect him. We've actually covered the Ma Xingru case in a previous episode, so if you're interested, you can check it out on my homepage. Now, if he really did implicate top-level Politburo Standing Committee members, then this wouldn't just be a corruption case anymore. The Politburo Standing Committee is Xi Jinping's innermost circle of power. If anyone from there gets dragged into this, the entire structure of the Politburo Standing Committee would be shaken. It would have to be reshuffled. So who actually set up Wang Xiaohong? There are 2 possibilities. The first is that Xi Jinping is actively purging his ranks. He's getting rid of people once they've outlived their usefulness. Wang Xiaohong knows too much, so Xi wants to take care of him before he has a chance to talk. This would mean Xi Jinping is now powerful enough to go after even his closest allies, but at the same time, it shows he's becoming more and more distrustful of everyone. Even those who have been loyal and worked hard for him are now being purged. The second possibility is that Xi Jinping was forced to give in to his opposition. The anti-Xi faction, including the group behind Zhang Youshaya, pressured him, and Xi had to hand over Wang Xiaohong as a bargaining chip in a political deal. This would mean that Xi Jinping has become so weak that he needs to sacrifice his most trusted people to maintain political balance. No matter which scenario it is, Wang Xiaohong's downfall signals that Xi Jinping's absolute security line is starting to crumble. You have to understand, Wang Xiaohong's significance isn't just about the secret she knows, but also about the network she built. It's a security system centered on personal loyalty. Elite members of the Ministry of Public Security's Special Service Bureau, close protection officers from the Central Security Bureau, and even a large number of trusted people within local police systems, all of their loyalty ultimately connects to Wang Xiaohong, and then, through her, to Xi Jinping. It took 30 years to build this network, and if Wang Xiaohong is purged, that chain of loyalty would be broken. Once it's broken, who would take over? Would the successor have the same level of loyalty? Could Xi Jinping establish the same kind of trust with someone new in a short period of time? If a leader can't even keep the people who guard his home and wield the knife for him, if he can't even protect them, or if he has to personally get rid of them, it shows that the very foundation of his power has already developed some serious cracks. Speaking of which, I've recently received a letter from a viewer. They called it a tip-off, but to me it feels more like an analysis, so I wanted to share it with everyone. This viewer said that after watching everything that's happened lately, they've summed up a certain logic. Xi Jinping is now maintaining his power mainly by relying on several strategies at the same time. The first is to continue the anti-corruption campaign and eliminate anyone who stands in his way. He also uses anti-corruption to foster fear and intimidate officials. His second strategy leverages corruption exposed during the Iran war to continue purging military leadership. We've actually done a dedicated episode about the military purges before, so feel free to check that out. The third strategy is that he's now being forced to even purge his own people. For example, when the Ma Xinrui case implicated Peng Liyuan, he simply abandoned Ma Xinrui. Since Wang Xiao Hong knew too much, he used health and anti-corruption as excuses to strip her of her power in the Ministry of Public Security. To prove that the anti-corruption campaign isn't just about factional infighting, the closer someone is to him, the more dangerous their position becomes. The fourth strategy is to restrict the freedom of movement of retired senior officials. This is to prevent them from speaking out. Wen Jiabao exchanged his freedom of movement for agreeing to leave the party. We talked about this last time as well. Fifth, quietly keeping the children of party, government, and military leaders who are abroad inside the country, like Wen Jiabao's grandchildren during the New Year. After they return to China, they can't leave again. This isn't a coincidence. It's taking hostages. This netizen ended with a comment that I think is worth considering. Xi Jinping's problem isn't that his enemies are too strong, but that his way of ruling makes everyone feel unsafe. Even those who work hard for him can't escape being purged in the end. In this kind of environment, no one truly wants to risk everything for him. Because the result of risking everything for him could be getting purged by him in return. Do y'all think this analysis makes sense? Wang Xiao Hong getting into trouble? For Xi Jinping, that means losing his sharpest weapon. Even his bodyguards are having issues, so how much longer can he hold on himself? It's not just a matter of security, but also of health, because earlier, Vietnamese media leaked information. The footage of Peng Liyuan quietly supporting Xi Jinping revealed the true state of Xi's health. If a leader needs his wife to secretly help him just to walk, how much energy does he really have left to lead these complicated political games? I believe everyone will soon see the game come to an end.